We made it to the pier. We gotta wait till 9:30 to do the Alcatraz boat tour. We're going on to Alcatraz, right?
I think so. I think it is a tour.
Yeah, I think the tour of Alcatraz. I think. But yeah.
Yeah, it is, because there's the Alcatraz one. I think that's one that's at Alcatraz Landing. Then there's the one where it's just a boat that takes you under the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, okay.
And around Alcatraz. I think that one's until the evening.
Oh, okay.
That's the cruise.
Yeah. A lot of runners out here. Oh, that's cool.
Should have parked in there. That's the one we're gonna be going.
Oh yeah, this is the one we're going. Alcatraz Landing. I can't hear her. Because she's yelling. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Say it again. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Wait, let me go on that side. Scoot over. Yeah.
Wearing ladies' underwear.
Yeah. Or no, we can't hear Tanya. No, it looks like she's just.
Yeah, I can barely hear. Yeah.
We're getting on.
I'm going to America. Bye.
It's coming right for us.
The federal prison closed on this island in 1963, Alcatraz sat here for several years as surplus unused federal land. So they had approached the government with that treaty in hand and asked to invoke their right to reclaim Alcatraz Island. Their grand vision was to build a university and a cultural center out here to help preserve their stories. Now, they even offered to pay for this island at a rate above what the government had supposedly bought their land for. They offered to pay $24 and glass beads for Alcatraz Island. The government turned them down, not because they didn't present enough money. The government turned them down because they were already in the process of selling Alcatraz Island. Now, they had a potential buyer lined up, and this potential buyer was going to put down $3 million. They were going to take ownership of this island, and they were going to tear down all of the historic buildings around us, including the cell house you all came out here to see today. I want you to imagine that you are here to visit Alcatraz Island for a shopping center and an air and space museum. That was almost our reality. That was the path that we were on. But this was another broken treaty. It was another broken promise between Native Americans and the federal government. And that is why they decided to take action. That is why they came to this island on that night, and that is what they were protesting. Now, their protest would last over 19 months. And throughout that 19 months, a lot of things happened. There were hard times. like when an unknown arsonist snuck onto the island and set fire to several of the historic buildings here. You'll actually see some of the burned out remains as you're exploring the island today. But there were a lot of good times and a lot of victories, like the overwhelming public support the movement that they started received. People from all over the world were sending donations, food, even boats to help support their cause. And throughout that 19 months, one question looms. What happens to Alcatraz Island when all is said and done? When this protest does inevitably end, what's the end result? Now, there were a lot of negotiations back and forth between the federal government and the Indians of all tribes, and they were steadfast in their desire to have this island for their university and their cultural center. A lot of negotiations passed and were turned down, but at one point throughout that 19 months, the government recognized the significance of their movement, of why they were here, what they were trying to do. And they recognized the significance of Alcatraz Island as a whole. This place holds a lot of our nation's historical, environmental, and cultural identities. And they recognized that. So they offered, what if we turn this into a national park? We will forever preserve not only your story, but all of the other stories that can be found here on this island. And originally, that proposal was turned down. Again, they were steadfast in their wants to build this island into a cultural center. Now, that occupation does dwindle. It does come to an end in June of 1971. On June 11th of that year, there were 15 people left on this island. Despite over 19 months, over 15,000 people had passed through this island. But on that day, the government sent a boat, they picked up those last 15 people, and that was it. But the eyes of the world were still on this island. What does happen now? We could have tried to put this island up for sale again. This place now has a new part of its history, but the government decided to make good on that promise. We added this to the newly formed Golden Gate National Recreation Area. And we leave those words there for all visitors who come to this place to learn about their story and to recognize they're the reason we all get to be here today. Were it not for their resistance and their resilience, this island would have been sold and all of that history could have potentially been lost. And all of that being said, my name is Ranger Carly and welcome to Alcatraz Island. This is one of your national parks and it is a place of so many stories. We do have an entire exhibit dedicated to that story. I'll tell you how to get there in just a minute. We have everyone off the boat now, so let me go ahead and get started with this orientation so I can send you on your way to find these stories. And we'll do.
We're touring Alcatraz Island now. Kind of just walking up here, reading the little informations. There's Nikki. It's pretty cool. Party at the water tower. You know what movie that's from? Dazed and Confused.
Damn, it stinks.
Yeah, kind of. It does stink.
Bird watching.
A lot more books. The military schoolhouse for residents. Now we're headed to the cell house tour.
Yeah.
I think that's the courtyard right over there.
This is the morgue. A little table. Are you gonna go in one of them?
I don't know. I wanted to get a picture.
মানে বসে বসে শোনো, বসে বসে শোনো, বসে বসে শোনো, তাহলে চুপ, একদম চুপ।
Now we are on our way to find something to eat. Wipe out?
On the foggy winter day in 1933, steam shovels began digging the bridge's north anchorage.
It's cold. I'm freezing. My nose is all red.
At the top of the bridge. The roadway of the bridge.
This dark brown one?
No, up
I'm just kidding.
I'm talking about the one on top there.
We probably went right by it last night. We didn't see it.
Oh, there she blows. There it is.
We're at the Lombard Street.
Hey.
Oh, so no stopping anytime.
I know, no, they just pulled into somebody's house. Oh wait, no, there's no one. They're not there.
Oh.
Look at it fall.
Can't stop. We can't stop. Nice.
You're being dropped.
Everybody standing out there.
Oh, these flowers. Yeah.
Ah,
Oh.
so nice. You can smell the flowers.
Standing in the middle of the road. I think they just dropped.
Didn't we go down that? No, huh?
No, we went to the right.
Tanya wanted to go there only if we were gonna eat.